Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz. This is Ron's Rundown. We're going to go over the MLB games scheduled for Monday, August 12th, 2024. And if you like what you see, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to put your baseball picks in the comment section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, including my daily rundown best bet in the MLB, you can find those at the premium picks tab at pickdawgz.com. There's also a link in the description. Alrighty, here we go. Here are the games for Monday in Major League Baseball. First up, the Chicago Cubs taking on the Cleveland Guardians. We're going to see Shota Imanaga and Ben Lively as the projected starters. Imanaga obviously having a strong season, 9-2 record with that 3.06 ERA, even better numbers on the road, 5-1 with a 2.75 ERA. He's in good form. The Cubs have won his last 4 starts, including that last game against the Twins, 7 innings, a 2-run ball with 10 strikeouts. The Guardians, their offense has not been the best in the last month, and against left-handed pitching, Cleveland's ranked 24th in baseball in team OPS. They still have a pretty low strikeout rate, but I think Imanaga can pitch well. And, Ben Lively, we've mentioned, he's had a strong season, but he is giving up a lot of sharp contact recently. He's given up at least a home run in 4 of his last 5 games, 2 more in that last game against the Diamondbacks, 4 earned runs to go with it in that loss. I'm going to roll with the Cubs in this one on the money line on the road. Next up, we'll go to the NL Central as the Cardinals take on the Reds. We got Sonny Gray and Andrew Abbott on the mound. And I'm looking at the over in this game. We're at Great American Ballpark, so a hitter-friendly ballpark. Abbott's not in great form. We saw him give up 6 more runs in his last game with 3 home runs to go with it. That makes it 6 home runs his last 3 starts combined. All those ended up being Cincinnati losses. The Cardinals are improving against left-handed pitching, where now in the last month they're top 15 in OPS and ISO. Sonny Gray pitched well in that last game, and he's had back-to-back strong outings, but that was against the Cubs and the Rays. Now you face the Reds at Cincinnati. Gray's not been great on the road already this year with an ERA just below 5, and the Reds have been hitting right in and pitching very well in the last month. Give me the over in St. Louis, Cincinnati. Next up, the New York Yankees taking on the Chicago White Sox. No official starter for New York, but we should see Kai Busch going for the White Sox. And, Busch in his first start of the year, 4 innings, 3 earned runs. He had 5 walks given up against the A's in a 5-1 White Sox loss. I think this is probably going to be an uglier series for the White Sox against the Yankees. These are the games that, for the Yankees, if they're looking to win the AL East, you got to pick up these wins even on the road. But also, on the flip side, while I do think the Yankees will do well, I don't think we're going to get, any value in a series like this. The Yankees are going to be big favorites in pretty much every game in this series. I'll lean towards New York right now on the run line, but a game and a series I'll be more than likely staying away from. Next up, the Houston Astros taking on the Tampa Bay Rays. Framber Valdez and Taj Bradley are your starters. This is an interesting matchup here and really a tough game in my opinion because I think there's a lot of contradictory information when you look at the Rays offensively against left-handed pitching in the last 30 days, but really the last month plus. They have been very strong against left-handed pitching, top 10 in team OPS and isolated power. But when you look at Framber Valdez, he's just been so strong recently. Of course, almost threw a no-hitter in that last game. He was 1 out away against the Rangers. But, beyond that, the Astros have won his last 8 starts. Good amount of quality starts thrown in that mix, and he's been a very profitable pitcher recently. You look at Taj Bradley for Tampa Bay. He has been really sharp at Tropicana Field this year with a 2.04 ERA. However, recently, his last 2 starts, 1 home and 1 road, he gave up 9 earned runs and 13 base hits combined in 9 2/3 against the Cardinals and the Marlins. Not necessarily amazing lineup, so it's tough to see, tough to tell what you're going to get from Bradley. Valdez has one of the tougher matchups he's had in a while. I mean, another thing about Framber Valdez, while he's pitched really well and he's won a lot of games, he's also had a really weak strength of schedule. The Rangers have not been great offensively. The Pirates are so-so. They've probably been the better team, one of the better teams he's faced recently. The Dodgers are a great team, but recently against left-handed pitching has not been the case. They're near the bottom of the league in OPS. The Mariners, we know, are not a team you can really trust offensively. The Marlins, the Blue Jays. So he's had a pretty weak strength of schedule. He's picked up W's. The Rays are not necessarily known for their offense either, but they are a lot better against lefties. So it makes for a really tough game. In my opinion, I think the Rays have the sharper bullpen in this series. So that's something to think about as well. I'm going to lean towards the Astros just with how well Framber's been at picking up these W's for Houston. It's really tough to go against them right now, but I wouldn't blame you for going the other way. I'm going to lean towards the Astros. Next up, the Boston Red Sox taking on the Texas Rangers. No official starter for Texas, but I did see Tyler Mahle listed on his site, so he could very well be the starter. Brian Bayo should be going for Boston. I'm going to lean towards the over. This is not my favorite game on the board. Bayo's not been great at Fenway Park. The Rangers have not been great, though, offensively against right-handed pitching. I will say that they have a low BABIP in the last month, so I do expect some positive regression going forward. I think they can get to Bayo for a few runs. Mahle, it's still early in his season. If he is, in fact, the starter, I could definitely see the Red Sox getting to him because Boston's just been so strong against right-handed pitching in the last month. They're near the top of the league in OPS and isolated power. So give me the over at Fenway Park between the Rangers and the Red Sox. Next up, the Kansas City Royals taking on the Minnesota Twins. Brady Singer and Pablo Lopez are your starters. Great pitching matchup. Lopez, last game, not his best work at Chicago, but now he returns to Target Field. I think he puts together a good outing. I like the Twins in this game, and I like them in this series, honestly. This is an important series for both teams as they're kind of neck and neck in the AL Central standings and, of course, the wild card standings. But, Singer on the road, don't really love backing him on the road. While he's been a little bit better this season, I still think he's somebody I'd rather back at Kauffman Stadium. He wasn't his best in that last game against the Red Sox. 5 2/3, 6 strikeouts, but he gave up 10 base hits and 4 earned runs. I think the Twins can get to him. They've been pretty sharp against right-handed pitching. I also think the big advantage that Minnesota has in this game, in this series, is in their bullpen. So I'm going to go with the Minnesota Twins on the money line in this game. Next up, the Los Angeles Dodgers taking on the Milwaukee Brewers. Clayton Kershaw and Freddie Peralta are the projected starters. Kershaw definitely put together his best start yet of the season against the Phillies. 4 2/3, 1 run, 5 strikeouts. We'd like to see Kershaw get a little bit deeper into ball games going forward, but he's still, that was definitely a step in the right direction after struggling. You're facing a Brewers team that has been very hot and cold against left-handed pitching this year. We've seen some months where they've had great numbers. We've seen them be at the bottom of the league in terms of OPS and ISO and WRC plus in other months. So in the last 30 days, Milwaukee's not been great in the power department against left-handed pitching, where they're ranked 26th in ISO. They have been able to get on base, earn walks. Their on-base percentage is great, but I think Kershaw puts together a good outing, and I actually like the matchup here for the Dodgers bats against Peralta. He's had also kind of an inconsistent season this year. Last game wasn't his best, 4 earned runs, 8 base hits against the Braves. I'm going to go with the Dodgers in this one on the money line on the road. This should be a very fun series, though. Next up, we see the Toronto Blue Jays taking on the Los Angeles Angels. Bowden Francis and Davis Daniel are your starters. This is a game and more than likely a series where, I don't really like backing either of these teams right now, but I'll lean towards the Angels at home. They are the home team. Daniels pitched better at home this year. Their bullpen has been better in terms of ERA in the last month. Neither of these teams have great lineups, but I think in the end, I think Daniel is the better option to start this game, so I'm going to go with the Halos on the money line. Next up, the Rockies and the Diamondbacks. We're going to see Cal Quantrill and Brandon Pfaadt on the mound, and I'm not usually looking at too many unders in Chase Field games, but this is a situation where you got the Rockies who wrapped up their homestand on Sunday with Atlanta. They don't get any days off in between that series and this one. I expect some sluggish bats, especially against Brandon Pfaadt, who's been really sharp recently. Another good outing, a quality start in the last game against the Guardians. Sub-4 ERA now on the season. Cal Quantrill, while he's been better at Coors Field, I still think he's a good option. Other than Kyle Freeland, the best option in this Rockies rotation. And I'm going to lean towards the under in the first 5 innings between the Rockies and the D-backs. Next up, the San Diego Padres taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Marco Gonzalez and Joe Musgrove are your starters. The Padres have won a lot of close games recently, a lot of exciting games, extra innings, blown leads, comebacks, you name it. San Diego, a lot of one-run wins, but this is a game where I think they win pretty comfortably. Against Marco Gonzalez, not really one of my favorite options. We know he struggled in that last game. San Diego's been pretty sharp against lefties in the last month. Top 10 in team OPS, isolated power, very low strikeout rate, high walk rate. So I think they get to Gonzalez. Musgrove, he returns to the mound here. Wasn't great in his rehab start back on August 4th, but I think he'll be good enough here. I don't really love this Pirates lineup against a righty right now. I think San Diego has the superior bullpen. Give me the Padres in this one on the run line. Next up, the Atlanta Braves and the San Francisco Giants. Chris Sale and Blake Snell are the projected starters. Two of the best lefties in baseball going at it in this one. Chris Sale's in great form. Blake Snell, of course, had the no-hitter a couple starts ago. He pitched well against Washington his last game, 6 innings, 3 earned runs, 8 strikeouts. For me, the difference maker in this game, there's a couple of things. Atlanta's coming off the Coors Field series, no days off in between, similar to what we just said about the Rockies. I do expect some sluggish bats, but beyond that, Atlanta's not been the best against left-handed pitching in the last month. So I think it's a really good matchup for Blake Snell and even the Giants bullpen, which the bullpen, in terms of the ERA, hasn't always been the best this year, but the expected numbers are still pretty sharp. So I do think San Francisco can compete there because I do think the Braves have one of the better bullpens in baseball, but I don't think the Giants are going to be too far behind in this series. Another thing is the Giants have hit lefties very well this year, and that includes the last 30 days. You look at their numbers; they're number 2 in isolated power, top 10 team OPS. So while I do think Sale still puts together a good outing, I think the Giants do enough against him and the Braves bullpen to find a lower scoring win in a typical Oracle Park game. But give me the Giants in this one, the money line and run line at home. And that's it. Those are the games for Monday in baseball. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Put those baseball picks in the comments section below. And again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pickdawgz Premium. As always, this is Romanelli. Good luck.